everyone, my name is Azani and I am the Education Coordinator here at the Morin Center. Today we're going to be talking about these. Now you might have recognized them as the Fortifications of Quebec. Quebec City is the sole surviving example of a fortified city in North America, and that's why in 1957 it became a National Heritage Site. Some of you might want to call them walls, but we really do have to call them fortifications because they're part of many different defensive buildings. These include the citadel, the rempart, the gates, and the redoubt. The biggest and most obvious parts of the fortifications are the remparts, which are located all around Old Quebec. We call them rempart and not wall because the earth has been elevated and the barrier involves geological changes in the landscape. We didn't just build a stone facade, but we also dug out, piled up, and moved the earth around. And these are not the original remparts of Quebec. They were moved twice throughout history. We sadly don't have any archaeological records of the first ones, but this is what they would have looked like. Better known as Champlain's first habitation located in Lower Town, it served as a residence, a fur trading post, and what can be considered as Quebec City's very first defensive system. It was a direct ancestor of Old Quebec's fortified walls. Its vertical walls and protective ditch helped restrict access, while its special platforms enabled the firing of cannons.
The second fortifications were completed in 1693. In some streets, we have marked the foundations with a marble slab so people can see where the walls used to be.
The next part of the fortifications is the citadel. This military building was built under the British regime, and even though it wasn't built by the French, it's still considered a National Heritage Site. The citadel's main purpose was to defend the city from oncoming attacks from the St. Lawrence, but also from within the city. If the Canadians were ever to revolt, the British could hide out into the citadel and then wait it out until they could come back out again and regain the territory. Some of you might want to call it a fort. However, as much as every citadel is called a fort, not all forts are considered citadels, which is why we always keep the name citadel.
Apart from the rempart, there are also four main gates: Saint-Jean, Kent, Saint-Louis, and Prescott. The Saint-Jean gate, located around Place Tuville, is one of the more famous and photographed ones.
The final component of the fortifications of Quebec include the redoubts. Now, these were military buildings, usually made out of stone and masonry. They stored military supplies such as gunpowder, cannons, and much more. It's also where we would install the cannons if we were ever attacked by the enemy. Back in the day, Quebec City used to have 3 redoubts. They were called La Redoute Royale, La Redoute du Moulin, and La Redoute Dauphine, which you can still visit today. As for the Redoute Royale, it was demolished in 1808 to be replaced by a jail. But guess what? That jail used to be right here where I'm standing at the Morin Center. Now, if we go back and look at what we learned today in this video, you've seen different components of the fortifications of Quebec. If you remember, we had the rempart, the citadel, the gates, and the redoubt. People come from all across the world to see Quebec City and probably photograph the fortifications, but none of them know as much as you do now about our fortifications history.